What took place yesterday is clearly linked to a terrorist ideology.
In 2014, there was no question. Martin Couture-Rouleau turned his car into a weapon and killed a soldier in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. It was called an act of terror by a radicalized lone wolf inspired by ISIS. Not so for yesterday. A devastating crime, but no official or authority has labeled it terrorism. Part of the reason from the public safety minister.
As far as the information would tell us to this point, there is no national security connection.
In Canada, the definition of terrorism is clearly laid out in the criminal code as an act undertaken in whole or in part for a political, religious, or ideological purpose, objective, or cause that is intended to intimidate the public.
And the key reason for defining an act as being one of terrorism or not has to do with motivation.
In the failed Edmonton U-Haul attack last year and in the Quebec City mosque attack that killed 6 people, politicians labeled both attackers terrorists, yet no terrorism charge was laid.
Usually they're not laid because of this element of motivation. I mean, you really have to hit a pretty high standard in court to be able to prove that the person's actions were rooted in this ideological motivation.
And sometimes that word, terrorism, gets in the way. Take the Moncton shootings. Justin Bourque shot and killed 3 RCMP officers. Officials never called it terrorism, even though police did consider laying that charge.
It's easier just to proceed with the fact that you have an obvious murder case and that the penalty for murder is as severe as the penalty for terrorism, so it really doesn't make much difference.
Still, Justin Bourque is now one of the Canadians who has received the longest sentence in Canadian history, 75 years with no parole.